The top 10 strangest cars ever. Ever notice a strange-looking vehicle on the road? Or maybe you're proud to own an automobile that is more unique than the typical off-the-shelf versions. Whether you're the driver or a lucky bystander, seeing odd cars on the road can make us grin and make our days better. Join us on an adventure as we search the world for the top 10 oddest-looking vehicles ever, marveling at the outlandish design concepts that have actually been realized. Number 10. Reliant Robin. Most cars have 4 wheels. The Reliant Robin bucks this trend, having only 3 wheels, 2 at the back and 1 at the front. This car was the second most popular fiberglass car in history, and Reliant was the second biggest UK-owned car manufacturer for a period of time. The Reliant Motor Company in Tamworth, England, produced the Reliant Robin over a 30-year period, offering several different versions. First manufactured in 1973, the one Malawian Kwacha Robin was well received because of its good design and affordable price tag. In 2000, the final Reliant Robin was produced and was given away by the Sun newspaper in a Valentine's Day competition in 2001. Reliant three-wheelers are often the butt of jokes in British culture, and the Reliant Robin has even been affectionately nicknamed the Plastic Pig because of its distinctive shape. The most famous Reliant vehicle is probably the iconic little yellow van used by Delboe Trotter in Only Fools and Horses. Number 9. 1955 Chrysler, Ghia, Streamline X Gilda. In the 1950s, Chrysler was trying to move away from their reputation for building boxy cars. In response to this, the designer of this vehicle seems to have gained inspiration from a wacky kind of spaceship. It was built at the request of Chrysler executive, Virgil Exner, and was intended to showcase extreme styling and ambitious performance. It debuted at the Salone di Torino in 1955, and later toured around Europe and the US. The car's nickname, Gilda, come from Rita Hayworth's performance in the 1946 film noir classic Gilda. Huge tail fins begin at the front of the car, with its unusually small cockpit placed in a forward position. The body of the car has a two-tone paint scheme with a darker underbelly. Number 8. 1948 Tasco. This odd car has a slight foot-like appearance as opposed to wheels. Gordon Bierich created the 1948 Tasco, an American sports automobile for the decades following World War II. It had controls modeled like those of an aeroplane and was the first automobile in the world with a T-top cover. Bierich sued GM for violating his patent when they used the same design on the 1968 Corvette. The American sports car company is referred to as Tasco. The odd-looking wheel coverings are intended to shield the wheels from the wind, which will decrease drag and increase speed. The prototype Tasco cost a staggering $57,000, which is really staggering. Number 7. Stout Scarab. The Steyr Scarab was the world's first minivan. It was envisioned by its designer, William Bushnell Stout, as being an office on wheels. Produced in 1932, the Scarab had a short nose and a long wheelbase in order to maximize accessible space. The Scarab's body was intended to closely emulate the design of an aluminium aircraft fuselage. It was the world's first car with a fiberglass body shell and air suspension. At the time of its production, the Stout Scarab was considered to be an ugly car. However, it is now respected as an Art Deco icon. Only about a dozen of these odd vehicles were made, and it is thought that there are only 5 surviving Scarabs today. Number 6. Fiat Multipla. The Fiat Multipla, Type 186, is an unusual-looking car that is relatively common on UK roads. The Multipla appears to have an unusually wide windscreen. Inside it has 2 rows of 3 seats, instead of the more usual format of having only 2 seats at the front. Inside the Multipla there is ample room for all the family, with the 3 abreast seating allowing for adjustment of the front seats and removal or relocation of the rear seats into a variety of formats. There is also plentiful space for luggage, making this an ideal vehicle for family trips. However, the aesthetics of the Multipla have not proved to be popular with drivers. The design of the Multipla has been displayed at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, during an exhibition entitled Different Roads, Automobiles for the Next Century, in 1999. Number 5. DMC DeLorean. Famous for its appearance as a time machine in the Back to the Future films, The DMC DeLorean is indeed a real car. This sleek sports car was originally manufactured by the DeLorean Motor Company between 1981 and 1983. The car stood out from others on the market due to its gullwing doors, instead of the same way as a normal car door. Whilst this feature looks cool, it would not be particularly practical when squeezing into a small space in a supermarket car park. Unfortunately, the car did not live up to its spectacular looks and steep price tag, with disappointment being felt over its lack of power and performance. Number 4. Norman Timms Special. An iconic American car design, the Norman Timms Special was designed, as its name suggests, by a Los Angeles-based mechanical auto engineer called Norman Timms. Norman was an influential engineer working with Tucker Automobiles in the 1940s. The Norman Timms Special took over 3 years to complete. This elegant, streamlined car has no doors and a long, swooping front nose, giving it a slimmed-down design. There is an unfortunate ending to this car's story. Having spent time in front of a Californian restaurant for children to play on, this strange-looking car was sadly destroyed in the 2018 Malibu fires in California. Number 3. General Motors Firebird. Inspired by fighter aircraft design, the General Motors Firebird cars were prototypes, unveiled in the 1953, 1956, and 1959 Motorama auto shows. They certainly need to win an award for their cool name, Firebirds, but these cars owe more to their design to jet planes than to birds. Sleek and streamlined, there were 4 Firebirds designed and built over the years. Some of their more unusual features were their bubble-topped canopies, the tail fins and short wings, and the steering being controlled by a joystick positioned between the 2 seats. This was supposed to give the car a futuristic feel and simulate the experience of flying a plane. Number 2. Ferrari 512S Modulo. The Ferrari 512S Modulo is a concept car designed by Paolo Stanzani and built by Pininfarina. It was first shown to the public at the 1970 Geneva Motor Show, and features a mid-engined 5.0L V12 engine. The engine is capable of producing 550 horsepower, and has a top speed of 350 km per hour, 217 miles per hour. The body of the Modulo is made entirely of fiberglass, and features a number of aerodynamic design elements, including a rear spoiler and a large front air intake. The car also has a unique wheel design, with the front wheels being narrower than the rear wheels. The interior of the Modulo is sparse, with only a single seat and a small instrument panel. There is no windscreen, and the driver is protected from the elements by a small perspex bubble. The Modulo was never intended for production, and only one example was ever built. It is currently on display at the Pininfarina Museum in Cambiano, Italy. Number 1. Peel P50. The smallest car ever made. This tiny car is just 137 centimeters long, and it was made in 1962. It was designed for city commuting, which explains its tiny size. Only 50 of these cars were made, and it is now considered a collector's item. It is recognized as the smallest production car ever produced in the 2010 Guinness Book of World Records. The Peel Engineering Company on the Isle of Man produced this 3-wheeled microcar for just 3 years, from 1962 to 1965. According to the advertisement, it was the ideal size for 1 adult and 1 shopping bag. The children cannot fit in this small automobile. Only 1 door, on the left, and 1 headlight are present. The Peel P50 does not have reverse gear, therefore moving the car rearward requires utilizing a handle at the back of the vehicle, which is not an easy alternative. In March 2016, one sold at an auction for a record $176,000. Guys, tell us in the comment which car you like most. Do like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.